What is up, Mets fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Mets'd podcast. The boys won. We are going to Atlanta with a 2-game lead in the wild card over the Atlanta Braves with a chance to end their season, to celebrate on their field. We're also tied with the Arizona Diamondbacks. There's a lot in play here, and it's because the Mets took care of business this weekend, taking 3 of 4 from the Philadelphia Phillies. Absolutely love to see it. So many things to talk about in this episode. It's a little bit weird for us, too, because we did drop one Friday after Thursday's game. So we'll briefly talk about that as well. In case you guys didn't see that, we did an episode live from the 7 line, the last train the last car on the train on Thursday night. That was a lot of fun. Shout out to Pat, Eric, Teddy, Bryce, and Brian who joined us and were a part of it. If you didn't check it out, go check it out on our YouTube channel, Mets'd Podcast. If you want to follow us on our social media at Mets'd on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And if you were listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, whatever it is, drop us a review, drop us a rating. Most importantly, download and subscribe. Download and subscribe. We do appreciate you all. James, we just came back from the game. It was hectic. I got to meet Frankie Peppers, which that's a big accomplishment. And he gave us sauce, and the sauce was phenomenal. Frankie, delicious. We had it. We both had it after we came back, and I was a huge fan. The sausage, the sauce, a nice little angel hair. It was a great compliment.
No, the sauce just saved our life. We just clicked record at about 12:30 because it was kind of hectic leaving Citi Field. The 7 line was down. Then we almost got a ride home from the famous Frankie Peppers, right into him outside the stadium. And then the 7 line came back. And then we had to come back and we made the sauce because we're both hungry. And now we're both tired. But I'm so excited. Like, I'm ignoring every single bodily function I have right now because I'm so fucking amped up by this weekend of Mets baseball. Like, this was it, guys. Again, job's not finished.
Job's not finished.
Job's not done. Job's not finished. But this weekend is literally exactly what we needed. This makes me feel so much better about this team, so much better about this last week of the season, so much better about where this team can go, having the team with the best record in the National League come to our house, and we fucking handled them like wall to wall.
Yeah, we were talking about after the game one, we were saying we want the Phillies. We play this team well. We played the team well all year long outside of like the beginning of the season when we were a garbage team, and we're just not the same that we were right now.
And we still blew half of those saves.
Of course, and we still did blow some of those. And it's like, even like last weekend, it's like, oh my God, we blew those 2 games. Like, how different this could feel. But givers can't be choosers. Beggars can't be choosers. That's the word. Yeah, 12:30. Givers can't be choosers. That's insane.
Yeah, I think givers probably can be choosers. Givers definitely should be able to be choosers. If you're a giver, you should choose.
I think they actually choose. That's their whole thing. They're choosing to give. But yeah, beggars can't be choosers. We're in the playoffs right now. And the second thing I was going to say is, me and you talking about like the vibes of the Mets going into Atlanta and how different this feels in 2022. Where in 2022, it felt like oh my God, please don't choke. What is happening? Oh, what are we doing? Oh my God. Where now it feels like, no, go into Atlanta, beat the Braves, end their season, celebrate on their field, destroy them. And they're a team that is very susceptible to get beat. The way the Mets are playing baseball right now, the way we just played against the Phillies this weekend, there's not really anybody who's going to be able to stop the Mets in that form.
The best record in baseball since June 1st. You can't really run away from reality. We have a 46-30 record at Citi Field since the first 5 games of the season, and we lost all 5 of them at home. It's like, this team is legit good. It's weird. Sometimes you got to really squint to see why this team is good, but you can feel it right now with the emergence of Luisangel Acuna, with Brandon Nimmo getting hot again, with Vientos still hitting. Well, I guess a little bit, he had kind of a bad weekend, but then with Alvarez hot again, like, this lineup 1 through 9 is just not a joke. Like, you have to work hard to get every single guy out. What the week for Tyrone Taylor? Starling Marte swinging the battle. I got mad at Starling Marte on Friday, but still, like, he was able to hit the ball pretty good this weekend in general. It's like, it's amazing that this team just played a full week without their best player, a true MVP candidate, one of the best players in baseball, and we didn't miss a beat. We just took care of business. This 7-game homestand was fucking perfect. It was. You lost 1 game, you got fucked up in 1 game. You won some close games, you had some blowouts, you scored 10 runs 3 times, first time in team history. Like, they did that 3 games in a row. This was such an important week for the Mets, and this was a week that really was going to dictate where this team would wind up and how the season would be perceived in the long term. And we just took care of business against division rivals. We just played 7 games against the Phillies. We won 4 of them, won 4-3, which is what we said we had to do if we wanted to be able to go this game. And I can't even make words right now. I can't.
Yeah, you got no energy. You were giving me edge shit before.
I have energy. We have no energy. Fuck you. I have no energy. You piece of shit. Piece of fucking
up.
Asshole. I'm fucking up. I'm up. I'm ready to go. But just like, this was such a great week, and like, we were in the ballpark 4 times. Like, we had a blast. Like, every single night, talking to people, hanging out with people, meeting people, eating, drinking. It was just, the vibes of the field were incredible this whole week. Like, shout out to all the Mets fans. If you get there, if you didn't get there, like, we put a lot of work this year. This has been an insane season. Like we're right now on the precipice of doing something very, very special.
I mean, I'm seeing people on Twitter talking about how I don't want to play the Mets in the postseason. I'm like, let's get us there first. But I'm
Yeah,
like, people are looking at this Mets team very differently. And I think, as weird as this might sound, the absence of Francisco Lindor has almost put more shine on the rest of this team, because the conversation had been Francisco Lindor is the MVP. Francisco Lindor's carrying this team literally on his back, causing back issues, carrying this team so much. Now, without him in this lineup, you get to see Luisangel Acuna make his debut, and he's been incredible. He's been so good. Francisco Alvarez, like you said, woke up. Pete Alonso swinging the bat well. He walked a couple times in a couple of the games. Brandon Nimmo starting to heat up. Like all these things, because now the light was kind of off of Francisco Lindor, I think you're starting to realize this is a very good baseball team. This is a complete baseball team. And this is a team that has a chance, again, to end the season this week. When you go to Atlanta, you control your destiny. The magic number's 4. For those of you who at home, that means a combination of wins and losses. The Mets beat the Braves twice. That's 4 right there. The season is over. The Mets are in the postseason with a chance maybe, and the Braves are dead. The Braves are done. Maybe. Technically, they might not be done. I think they could still catch the Diamondbacks at that point.
I guess that's true, yeah.
We're in, and I like the idea that if we win those 2 games against the Braves, hopefully the Diamondbacks win too then, and then this season is done.
It's also so insane how much more competitive National League wildcard race is this year compared to last year. Last year, the Phillies were the runaway first wildcard, didn't really sweat the whole season. They were behind the Braves. They're way ahead of the field. They only won 90 games. There's an outside chance that a team can win 88 games and 90 games and miss the playoffs. If the Mets go 3-3 this week, that'll give them 90 wins on the season. You guys imagine this Mets team can win 90 games from where we were and where we came from. I can't I've been trying to be like really grateful about the season recently. Like I said, again, job's not finished. I don't think I'll be grateful if we miss the playoffs, but this whole week, like I was waking up when we were heading to the ballpark and I was like, damn, like this has been awesome. Like this really has been such an amazing, again, job's not done. Job's not finished. I'm not grateful yet. I'm trying to like reflect a little bit and like appreciate everything that's happened in the last couple of months and be like, this has been a lot of fun and this has to keep going.
Yes, no, it has to. Please. I don't want this season to end. This has been a really insane year between the Seymour Wiener and Jose Iglesias being a Latin pop star, and Bad Bunny's been at the game, and then Grimace, and then Hawk Tua Girl, and Glizzy the dog, or Izzy the Glizzy dog, whatever. Yeah. Like there's just so many different storylines that have gone on.
Frankie Peppers
making food, and the Mets don't lose when he cooks a gourmet meal. We'll have some requests for him at the end of the episode, but it's been a really good year. And I think one thing that's also going under the radar too, that now the national baseball world is starting to understand, is this Mets starting pitching staff has been really, really good. Where would this team be without Sean Manaea, Luis Severino? Jose Quintana hasn't given up a run in like a month.
3 weeks.
Like it's crazy how good they've pitched.
Tyler McGill, even on Sunday, sacking up and going toe-to-toe with Zach Wheeler and being like, yep. Again, it's not Tyler McGill. We know about his deficiencies. We know that he's not the perfect pitcher, but for him to give 80 pitches, 4 innings, to get up to 97 miles an hour, 6 strikeouts, he had 13 swings and misses. That first inning was a little sweaty, but then after that, it was like, this is totally fine. Like, this is all good. Like, the at-bats were long. None of the secondaries were crisp. He didn't force multiple whiffs with any of his secondary pitches, but he forced 11 with his fastball, which was sick. I think we were trying to talk about in the stands. It looked like he was kind of tipping his slider. He kept doing that thing with his arm, you're pointing out, so they were never biting at that. They actually didn't chase one slider the whole night. The Phillies didn't chase a pitch besides Tyler McGill's fastball. That's insane. That's a crazy fucking stat. But the fact that we're like the depth in this rotation has been able to show. And there was a tweet that someone sent me today from Brandon Tierney. We'll just say it's the media marvel because I don't think we're going to do a formal media marvel this week. Where Brandon Tierney in February said this was the worst Mets starting rotation in the history of the franchise. Which is crazy to say because that's definitely untrue. This team still currently, as we talk on Monday, September 23rd, still is tied for the Major League all-time record in losses in the season with 120 until Tuesday, I guess. But to say it's so fucking awesome how good these guys have been. Sean Manaea was so good on Saturday. So good. In a game that the Mets, the vibes were tenuous after the way they got beat down on Friday. And he did what, and I'm going to say this, I'm not going to use this term lightly, what aces do. They take the ball and they go dominate when their team needs a win. And Sean Manaea, he gave up the leadoff home run for Kyle Schwarber. No stress, didn't freak out. Everything was fine. Mets came right back in second inning, and he was just cruising over and over again until the Castellanos home run too. But then it was just, you just felt like this is a guy that's so in control right now. Like I was so comfortable and confident watching Sean Manaea pitch as the ace of my team, and I can't even imagine I would have uttered those words 3-4 months ago.
there's not a second of worry when the guy's on the mound. Like him, Severino, like it's just these guys do their job so well, and it seems like everybody has stepped up, which is really refreshing because that's something I think a lot of Mets fans in the past were like, when is someone going to step up? When is someone going to do this? When is someone going to do that? Almost everybody on this team this last month has stepped up in such a huge way. And it's been incredible to watch. And what was really cool too, so on Saturday, I know you were at a wedding, right, James, on Saturday?
Yeah, shout out Brittany and Kevin.
Shout out Brittany and Kevin. I was at a friend's birthday party. Shout out Mike. I pulled up, casually late. I pulled to James. I got there like 30 minutes late because I was like, I'm watching this game. I got to see what's going on. What was it, the 6th or the 7th inning when they started to rally? The Mets, what was that? Whenever they came back,
whatever it was.
I was outside of his apartment building. I just got a 6-pack of beer to bring up to the party. And I was like, I cannot go in until this inning ends because I'm going to be antisocial. I'm not going to talk to anybody. I'm so locked in. They score all those runs. I'm like, great. We can go upstairs, go back in the elevator, go hang out at the party. I'm at the party. I'm still watching on my phone. His girlfriend comes over like, hey, like, are you okay? I'm like, sorry, I'm going to be antisocial for like the next 30 minutes. I have to see the end of this game. I know that sounds crazy, but it is super important to me. And that's all I can think about right now.
Dude, so I was at this wedding. I say wedding loosely. It was more of like an auxiliary wedding celebration. My cousin Brittany and Kevin got married a month ago. I talked to you guys about the wedding when I told my uncle about the Hawk Tua girl, and he almost fell over. He's like, "Why is she famous?" And I was like, "Blowjobs." And he was like, "What?" And then for man is like 67. I think he's in 70s. Can't really handle things like that. But so this was like to appease the elders, like have the Catholic Church wedding, right? So then we're in the ceremony, and they announced that they're already having a baby. We're like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" Blah blah blah. Then me, my dad, my uncle. We go into the room on the side because I had the TV and we're watching the Mets game. We're freaking out. We're like arm in arm watching that 6th, 7th inning, whatever it was, and they went off. And then there was a shout from the room where all the people were. We were like, that was a really loud scream. Wonder what's going on there. And I was like, someone else probably having a baby. Literally, one of my other cousins also announced that she's also having a baby. They got married last year. So I was like, wow, damn, a lot of babies here and the Mets won a game. But about guys stepping up, since last Saturday when Lindor went down, Iglesias and Luisangel Acuna have combined to go 30 for 71.
That's so ridiculous.
That's a 423 average this week. Those two guys, when the Mets' best player has gone down, those two guys who are taking up, stepped up and have done absolutely unbelievable shit. The fact that Luisangel Acuna hit another home run on Saturday, I couldn't fucking believe my eyes. I think he has more home runs now than he had in Syracuse. I'm just like, how the fuck is this happening? I can't even believe what he's been to this team and how important he is. I was pissed on Sunday when he tried to lay down that bunt. I was furiously mad. I was steaming mad he tried to bunt.
Oh, you were super pissed.
I was like, you're going to take the bat out of Luisangel Acuna's hands? This guy's a menace right now. And then they got caught stealing, which also sucks. I'm begging the Mets to be more aggressive on the base pass, but he's been so good at shortstop. Iglesias cannot stop hitting, 16-game hitting streak. Bad Bunny, who we're really hoping is on the remix for OMG, was in the stadium. It's just,
and he was sweating. Everywhere. He was like he couldn't watch at points. I was like, is Bad Bunny a Mets fan?
It's everyone is doing things right now. Like
Edwin Diaz 6-out save on Sunday, like that. It's pretty insane. I feel like that doesn't get talked about enough. How awesome that was.
The Mendoza quote after the game was amazing. He said, "It's big boy time now."
It is big boy time. Put his big boy pants on. He said, "I'm Edwin Diaz. I'm fucking back."
And I was super happy that he came out to pitch that inning because we were talking about it too. When the top of the Phillies lineup was coming up in the 8th, we were like, this is a one-run game. Like, he has to come in. Still nervous about guys running on Edwin. That happened way too freely. Trey Turner got some free stolen bases. Brayson Stott got free stolen bases. And Edwin does walk a few more people I think a lot of us would like. So the fact that a walk always becomes a double, that's
sometimes
not good.
Triple, yeah.
Yeah, we can't have that in these playoff games against these good teams. What?
And remember Alvarez's throw to third?
Yeah, they bounced off the base. Never seen that in my life.
That's how you know things are feeling a little bit different in Mets world, because in previous years, Alvarez makes that throw down to third on that stolen base that Mark Vientos, I don't know what happened there, how he wasn't even close to catching that
I
ball.
can't even believe he let that ball go, Alvarez. I think that was a mistake.
Shouldn't have thrown it in the first place. But it hit the front of the base and just popped like right back to Vientos. It didn't go anywhere. It didn't skid off the base. If it even bounced forward, he might have taken off and scored. Like, that stuff did not happen in the past for us. That stuff would have been like what you would lull Mets us about. And the fact that we got that bounce that tonight, Sunday, I was like, oh, we're going to win this game.
Also, such an unreal moment when Edwin was getting into trouble. He had just walked, I think, 2 guys in a row. And you could see when Edwin's not right that he's missing arm side high because he's really trying to overthrow. When he's missing to his glove side, I feel like he's very secure. He's in himself. Yes. Like, the mechanics are great. But now he's missing arm side. I'm like, okay, Edwin's falling apart right now. Mendoza came to the mound. He just talked to Edwin, put his arm around him, and probably said something along the line of like, "You're the fucking best. You got this." And Edwin clutched up immediately after he had that talk for the manager. And I love seeing the cohesion with this team where Carlos Mendoza can like put his arm around the guy and talk to him, and all of a sudden, like bang, the mentals are right back in check. Like you said, it speaks. I can't. What's the phrase there? Speak so highly. Speak so. Yeah, volumes. Great. So
Wow,
good with
couldn't
the
think
word.
of speaks volumes. Damn, you are broken right now.
It speaks volumes about like what this team is and how much they respect the manager and how good of a job the manager's done. I think there were some things the manager didn't do that well. I think we're going to get a little more nitpicky about some of these other games, but first, got to get you guys to hear a word from our ad sponsors.
We're looking for real ways to boost our nutrition and just found a protein shake that actually tastes amazing. It's called Orgain, and it's been a game changer.
Orgain is the leader in real protein-powered nutrition that understands that being good for you doesn't have to taste bad. It's the organic ingredients we're looking for, but I don't want a grainy battle with my taste buds every day. You know what I'm saying? It's giving smooth milkshake vibes. That's Orgain, and they have a brand new 30-gram complete protein shake that offers protein-packed real nutrition designed to satisfy your cravings without all the sugar.
It gives me energy, provides muscle support, and helps manage hunger too. It's also made without soy ingredients and made with no artificial flavors or sweeteners.
Orgain 30-gram protein shakes are available at Costco and Orgain.com. If you want to get in on the delicious protein-packed nutrition today, head to Orgain.com/FOUL and use the code FOUL for 20% off your order. Once again, that's ORGAIN.com/FOUL for 20% off. And make sure you use promo code FOUL so they know FT sent you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, great series by the Mets. Really good job. Again, can't stress enough. Control our own destiny. Love it. Love going into Atlanta with the way that we're playing. A lot of good vibes. Let's talk a little bit more about these games. Of course, we talked to you guys on Friday about Thursday's game because we did the Subway episode. But then I lost a little sight of ball. And hand up. Hand up.
Yeah,
Friday.
it's on Mark.
Friday's on me. I went on a date on Friday.
Unbelievable.
I wasn't
Playoff
focused on
race.
ball. During the
terrible.
playoff race, I decided to go on a date, and the Mets got smoked. Now, this has nothing to do with her, but to me, I have to be better. I have to understand that if I'm not watching these games, what does it even matter?
I was worried that something was wrong with Mark because I was texting him as we usually do during these games, and I literally was like, "Are you okay? Like, what's going on?" Because the game went through an hour. The Mets were already losing 8-2, and I hadn't heard from him. Like, what? Like, I literally like, I hope he's okay. And he was like, "I'm on a date." I was appalled. Our buddy Clay was appalled too. Everyone, I think your parents, your dad was even like, "You got to be kidding me right now." But we should talk a little bit about the things that happened in that game on Friday because I mean, it just happens. Relevant. Like, team didn't hit. David Peterson kind of reverted back a little bit. It was a start where I wouldn't say he pitched that bad. He started out really hot. That strikeout of Kyle Schwarber and then Bryce Harper in the first inning on the high fastball was like, oh man, like we got that shit.
Yeah.
He was getting swings and misses, 10 swings and misses total in those first two innings, but there was a lot of hard contact. He couldn't really get guys out. This was the first game where his command really wavered, and when he did get pulled from the game in that fourth inning, he just allowed 3 consecutive batted balls over 106 miles an hour to the 7, 8, and 9 hitters, or the 8, 9, 1 hitters on the Phillies team. Yeah, because he came out when Trey Turner was coming up. So I was like, okay, yeah, it's bad. And also, like, this is what you feel about facing a team 2 times in a row. You could definitely see it with him this series. You could see it a little bit from Christopher Sanchez on the other side, too. We had to change up a lot of things to try and beat the Mets. But a lot of hoopla was made about Carlos Mendoza's decision to pull David Peterson when he did in the middle of the 4th inning. So I know, again, you didn't watch the game, but I want to ask you, like, what you think of that conceptually? Because I have some takes on it, too.
Yeah, so you mentioned 3 balls, 106 miles an hour in a row. They're seeing you pretty good. And for a guy like David Peterson, I don't think I hate it. I don't think I hate it at all because he's been someone who everything's been going so right. And we do know, I don't want to say that he's like mentally weak. That's not fair.
No, I don't think it's true either.
Yeah, I don't think that's fair.
Professional baseball players, definitely not mentally weak.
Well, there are plenty of mentally weak baseball players. And for you to think that's not the case because they're professionals is insane. That's Midnight James talking.
To reach the major leagues, you got to be pretty mentally strong.
I don't think so. I think you could just be really talented. Think about the NBA.
Yeah, I think the NBA and MLB is a lot different. I think you have to go through a lot more bullshit to make the MLB and the NBA.
Regardless, not the important part here.
Yeah.
The important part where I was going is that so many good things have been happening for David Peterson. I think this game could have gotten out of control on his dime or it could have gotten out of control on Adam Ottavino's dime. Now, that's a bigger problem is that Adam Ottavino is still on this team and really serves no purpose whatsoever except for this. And I would prefer that we have someone better for this situation. But I don't know. Looking back on it, that
was my problem. That was my big problem because we've talked about the one thing that I think is something we could say about Carlos Mendoza. They might have to improve a little bit. Is that sometimes he's not. I don't know. Sometimes I don't think he's very good at putting his foot in the ground, like going with a strategy. I think he did that really well again on Saturday with the 2 innings from Edwin Diaz, the 4 out save from him on Saturday, and the 6 outs on Sunday. Jeez. But I think this instance on Friday where you're pulling David Peterson because this game you don't want it to get out of hand. At the time, I believe it was still 5-2, maybe 6-2, 6-2, 5-2, 5-2 because Alec Bowman threw a run homer. Or wait, it might be 4-2. I don't know, whatever. But so I think it's important enough right now. Like I'm managing my playoff brand. I'm Carlos Mendoza. I'm pulling the lefty when the righty Trey Turner's coming up. He's already seen him twice. Like I don't want this game to get out of hand. In my estimation, if you're doing that, like if you're trying to manage in the 4th inning, like it's late in the game, like this is the critical moment in the game. I'm pulling my starter. Why bring your worst reliever in rather than one of your better ones? Like, why is that not Reed Garrett? Why is that not even the guy like Ryan Stanek or Phil Maton who were in the middle of leverage? Like, why for that? To me, bringing in Adam Ottavino to face the best hitters on the Phillies when you're already losing by 3 runs, that was a white flag moment. And if it's a white flag moment, then maybe leave your starting pitcher and so you can get some more length out of him. That was kind of like I thought that the logic there made sense to pull David Peterson because that was a critical point in the game. I don't think he was going to get Trey Turner out, and I don't think so at all. Not that Adam Ottavino did, but I don't think David Peterson would have. But to me, if you're going to manage that tightly, bring in a better relief pitcher because if you're saying this is such a critical point in the game, I need to make a change. Make a change that's actually worth changing.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, and probably I lose a little bit of context again because watching it back is not the same as watching it live. So it's just not going to be the same thing. Fake fan, fake podcaster.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it also, my opinion changes too because we won 3 or 4, and I'm like, whatever at this point. Like, we weren't coming back and winning that game.
That's not what we do on this podcast. We talk about it all. That's the whole reason we're here.
It's also like, I don't know, Stanek is also really not that great. Like, Ottavino is by far the worst guy in this bullpen. There's no doubt, and he really shouldn't even be on this team. Let's be honest.
Nah,
but you gotta if he's gonna be on this team, he has to serve a purpose, right?
But you feel what I'm saying though, where the fact it seemed like he was in between the decision, and the decision, where it's like, okay, I'm tight, playoff. Like playoff atmosphere. Like if you're managing this like the playoff game, you're pulling your starter, you're not bringing your worst reliever in the game.
I understand what you're saying. Yes, it's like pulling the guy early. You're right. You usually go to maybe that could have been a Budo. But
that could have been a Budo. That could have been like maybe next week. That could be a Blackburn, like that, something like that. But not
something weird going on with Budo. By the way, like I know they used him tonight, but it feels like he hasn't been used at all. And now it seems like he's gone down the hierarchy of the bullpen quite a bit based on who he faced.
Yeah, he came in to face 7, 8, 9 Sunday after not pitching. I'll get the exact amount of days coming up here, but yeah, it feels like I don't know. Maybe they just know something. Maybe he's just been walking too many guys. But I don't know. The stuff still looks pretty good usually, but it does seem like he's not in the same level of trust tree that he has been. So before tonight, he hadn't pitched since Monday. So that was 6 days ago. And then before that was Monday, 7 days before that. So he's only made 3 appearances since September 9th.
Yeah.
And he hasn't thrown more than 1 inning since that he blew that game against San Diego on August 25th. So maybe he just has kind of fallen down a little bit. But again, like that seemed like would have been a good moment for Budo relative to Ottavino because here's a guy who can come in the game. Here's a guy who can give you a little bit of length. Again, we're nitpicking. This doesn't matter in the long run, but I think it's worth bringing up that it was a move that Mendoza made where I was like, okay, that's another weird one. I got so fucking mad starting Marte in this game.
Yeah,
he loafed so hard after a ball in right field that who was it? Was it Rojas? Someone ended up liking out a triple on it for no reason, just because he was lazy getting to it. Yeah, it was just like, I don't know. You can't. That to me was so inexcusable in a game that you're losing by a lot. You're trying to keep the vibes up. The body language was bad. Walking after balls horrible. Again, wanted to flush this game and get rid of it, but that pissed me off for a second. But it was okay. Again, winning 3 out of 4 changes these things in my head a lot, but that getting to that game on Saturday definitely helped everything. We talked about Minaya. Talked about Nimmo being clutch. Nimmo's definitely very much swinging the bat better now.
So much better.
Since Monday when he had that bat where he put those 2 foul balls, homers into the Coca-Cola corner. Since then, the swing looks totally back. I have a lot of confidence in him again. He's back moving up to the top of the lineup. It's a pleasure now remembering how good Nimmo was in the first half and thinking he can give us even a fraction of that now.
Well, it's funny. We were looking at his stats that they flashed on because where we were sitting at 310, you had a TV as well as like you were watching the game. So we would see like the pitches coming in as they were going, which was nice. And they showed Nimmo's stats. Like, man, for what is probably the worst year of his professional career, like 110 OPS plus, not the worst. Like he's still such a good ball player.
Yeah, him at the floor is great. The outfield defense was amazing this weekend because it was a lot of Tyrone Taylor and Harrison Bader in center, pushing Nimmo to the corner. You could just feel they're catching everything. Lots of big fly balls, but for the bats when Tyler McGill and Sean Manaea were pitching Saturday and Sunday, lots of nice plays. Nimmo made one crashing into the wall. Harrison Bader made a couple nice ones in the gap on Saturday. When this team is going, like they're fucking going, like they're good. Like there's so many little strengths of this team, and you could feel David Stern's identity all over this roster. And it took a few months to actually see it and feel it, but the defense, how they play in close games, the random ass relievers that are good out of nowhere, building up these pitchers from thinking they're not good to being really good. It's just like the vision fucking worked. Like he built this team with nothing. They built this team in a cave with sticks. This team was supposed to suck, and they're good for no reason. Now they just did this whole week without their best fucking players. Like I can't believe how much good stuff they've done this year. It's so cool. Like we gotta be so appreciative of everything that's happened this year while still again seeking a lot more.
Yeah, one thing too that I'm absolutely loving is how Francisco Alvarez is swinging the bat as well.
Yeah.
So much better. He obviously hit that big home run on Saturday. His last 15 games, 5 homers, 14 RBIs, 7 walks, 11 strikeouts. Love to see that kind of ratio from Francisco Alvarez, 250, 365, 614 slugging. He's just looked so much better, looks so much more comfortable. He's moved closer to the plate again, and you know what he's doing, James? Well, where'd that home run go on Saturday?
I think he pulled it.
Where'd the home run go on Thursday when he hit the fucking glass?
I pulled it again.
Yeah, so Francisco Alvarez, keep pulling the fucking ball. Don't listen to Eric Chavez about hitting the other way. Do what you do best, mash baseballs, and you know what you do when you mash baseballs? You're pulling them. There was something that happened interesting on Saturday when Johan Rojas came to the plate. Later in the game, Sean Manaea was facing him, and Ron was like, throw him an up and away fastball. He's like, just attack this guy. He's going to hit a weak fly ball. Like he doesn't have the ability to hit the ball to opposite field. You can't hit the ball to opposite field as hard as you can when you're pulling it. Francisco Alvarez, keep pulling the baseball, please. That's when you're at your best.
Shout out my guy Mikey at MJD_analysis. He put up the Fangraphs rolling chart on Sunday afternoon, and it was Alvarez's pull percentage and his fly ball percentage. And in the last 2 weeks, it is skyrocketing.
Yes.
It's the highest they've been all season because that's what you do in your power hit. You do it well. When he hit that home run on Saturday at the time, that was 5 home runs and 24 at-bats, which is crazy. That's half he has all year, and he did it in the span of 4.5 games. Like it's beautiful to watch him play well right now. I was gonna take it somewhere else. I can't remember right now. But there was also the amazing moment on Saturday when mega viral about talking about CJ Abrams. I think again, if we had some more time, we weren't dense in a playoff race right now, we'd probably give the CJ Abrams conversation some thought because it's fascinating. He basically got kicked off the Nationals for the rest of the year because he got caught being in a casino until 8:00 in the morning. So they were like, all right, this is like disciplinary, you're gone. And then Gary, Keith, and Ron were talking about it. Such a travesty. We only got Gary, Keith, and Ron one time this weekend. Absolutely miserable, this amazing series. But they were talking about it. And Keith was like, 4 in the morning I can see. But 8, I don't know about 8. And Ron was like, speaking like a guy with some experience there. Which I think is kind of true. I don't know. I think some people...
Keith at one point was like, Chicago's a great city. He's like New York, city that's awake all the time. He goes, you go out midnight, and sometimes, you walk in at a club, 11:30, it's empty. He goes, get there at 12:30, it's packed. He's like, and you're not going to leave until it closes. I was like, oh, man. Going out with Keith probably would have been one of the greatest experiences of your life.
The China Club with Keith in like 1984, I would freak out to be in that place with them. I don't know if I could handle it, everything going on in there, but I think the CJ Abrams thing is interesting because I think a lot of people lament that baseball's not the way it was. I think a lot of these guys aren't soft now, but I think a lot of these guys, really like a knowledge thing. People know how much worse your body is and you'll perform after drinking heavily and staying out all night. Like I think we're at the athletes now that just make too much money. They're too aware of everything that they just don't do that. But it's crazy he got kicked off the team because he stayed out one night. It is too much in a day game. Like that is ridiculous. But
and after a night game.
Yeah, as you can say, if it's the first time this happened, I think it might have been overreaction on their part, but I digress. I don't give a shit.
Did you see the picture though of him at the roulette table?
Yeah.
Did you notice how many chips were on there? There was like nothing. I think he was just grinding out like $10 spins on roulette for like 6 hours, which I don't know if I respect that more or if I'm like, this might be a problem.
maybe again, like if we'll never know, and I don't want to give too much time to CJ Abrams on this podcast, but it's like maybe if this is like a pattern, maybe it is worth the disciplinary measures they gave. But it was just that soundbite from Keith was perfect. We only got one SNY game, but what they gave was absolutely incredible. Yeah,
it was absolutely phenomenal. We also have a phenomenal sponsor for today's episode. That's right. I'm going to be reading out this one. We have a sponsor. The sponsor is Viore. Viore is a new perspective on performance apparel, perfect for your sick and tired of traditional old workout gear. Viore draws inspiration from coastal California lifestyle. We make products that stand the test of time and hope to inspire others to live vibrant, healthy lives. Everything is designed to work out in, but doesn't look or feel like it. It's so comfortable, you'll want to wear it all the time. And honestly, it's comfier than whatever you're wearing right now. The product is incredibly versatile. It can be used for just about any activity like running, training, swimming, yoga. Also great for lounging or just running weekend errands. Happier on a healthy planet, Viore offsets 100% of their carbon footprint. And since 2019, they have offset 100% of their plastic footprint. They strive to utilize preferred materials for their products, empowering your best active life. Viore is an investment in your happiness. For our listeners, they're offering 20% off your first purchase. Get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at viore.com/foul. That's VUORI.com/foul. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Go to viore.com/foul and discover the versatility of Viore clothing today.
Aced it.
Aced it, always.
Aced it. All right. So now we're
12:30
back.
at night. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Oh, my God.
It's 108. I'm in pain right now. I think this, I want to, oh my God. But to wrap up the series a little bit, then preview this Brave series that is going to absolutely lock us in like Mad Men this entire week. But a couple of things I want to touch on, talk about. Shout out Tyrone Taylor. The guy has been a revelation this week. As JD Martinez has completely fallen apart, it's kind of pushed more into Tyrone Taylor's plate because we've been facing some lefties and he's got to be in the lineup, even playing against the righties, which is pretty amazing to see. But over his last 30 games, he's got over an 800 OPS.
That's crazy.
Over his last 15 games, he's a 460 on base. Just delusional how good he's playing right now. Offense, defense, everything. Big 2-out RBI that clanked off Alec Boehm's glove today.
Made a lot of really good plays in the outfield, too, just cutting the ball off and keeping singles and not doubles.
Just the at-bats are really strong. He always has good energy. When they play it was a good day of Ice Cube. It's always a vibe in the ballpark. Like, he's been monumentally important to this team. It's amazing to watch him cook. And it's just, he's been great. And also, as we say that again, there's definitely going to have to be a broader discussion about JD Martinez, depending on Francisco Lindor's health this week. He's abysmally bad. His swinging mechanics are all off. His shoulder's crazy. He's pulling off the ball. He's scooping everything. He's 0 for his last 32, which is truthfully inconceivable.
Yeah,
I like you could get lucky once just because the quality of his contact is so bad. And again, it was pretty good up until this week. I will say, like, the barrel rate was still fine. He had 3 outs that were 400 feet in Philly last weekend. Like, that was total bullshit. But this week, it seems like he's completely out of sorts. I don't know what's going to happen. Thankfully, Tyrone Taylor stepped up in his place, but we're facing 2 very talented lefties in this Brave series. So it's a shame that we don't have JD Martinez ready to go to hit them. And I don't know if he's going to be in the lineup or not.
That was going to be my question. You think JD Martinez plays?
He sat against Suarez on Saturday.
Kind of can't play him right now.
I don't think so either. And also, again, Marte's been a fiasco in the outfield, so I'd rather him DH, especially Winker's not going to play either. Get the more talented outfield out there, like get Bader in there. Or again, we've talked about, if Lindor's back and ready to go on Tuesday, I think the Mets' best possible lineup they can throw out there has Lindor at short, has Acuna at second, because he's not coming out of the lineup.
No,
I wouldn't take him out of the lineup unless he broke a bone right now. Like, I swear to God, like, there's nothing that can get him out. And then you put Iglesias at third base and you DH Vientos, because Vientos still, the defense is not
bad.
Great. Yeah, I think it's objectively still not very good. He still makes some plays, he makes some good throws, but I think every time the ball, like he took the in between hop today with 2 outs and a man on.
Heart attack.
Oh my God, he like
to his
backhand
side
scooped it. It was like, look what I found. I was like, geez, that's not going in every time. But I think those are the best Mets alignments. For as bad as JD Martinez has been, the swings are terrible. I just don't know what we can do about him.
Yeah, I was telling you at the game, I was like, he's tilting his head, which is always never a good sign. He's like seeing curveballs and he's tilting, the shoulders dropping. There's just so many things going wrong for him right now. Hope he can straighten out, because my God, when he was hitting well, this team was also even better at the plate offensively. Like, it would be great to be able to get that bat, especially with these lefties that we will be seeing in Atlanta. Last thing I want to talk about here before we get going into what's coming up next, Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
Standing ovation.
Awesome.
Was awesome. It was a very weird feeling. I don't know how you felt about it. We didn't really talk about this, but on Thursday when we went to the game with our dads, I wore like my Pete Alonso jersey. I'm like, could be one of the last times I wear my Pete Alonso jersey ever in Citi Field. This feels very, very weird. And then watching him take his last at bats that could be ever in Citi Field as a New York Met, super, super strange. I mean, obviously the fans love him. I'm glad that he got the reception that he did, because what is going on outside? There was like it sounded like you heard nothing?
No.
It sounded like a boat horn I couldn't even. That's why I had to stop. It sounded like a foghorn. But
I mean, it's so late. The ships are coming into the dock.
yeah, that's exactly what it is. They're getting ready to listen to Mets'd podcast. But Pete, people have been giving him shit all year because he isn't clutch, he isn't this, he isn't that, whatever. I was glad to see that in his what could be his final games at Citi Field as a New York Met. He got that reception. People were pumped for him. And shout out to the umpire, professional move, dusting off the plate, let Pete get a little tip the cap and, say that he misses everybody kind of thing.
Yeah. The only issue was that Pete got really excited.
Of course. Well, he's a golden retriever. That's why we love him. Yeah.
And when Pete gets excited, he just starts taking hacks, and now he lets his mechanics go a little bit. He didn't really have that great of a game. I think
bad game.
Yeah, didn't get really too excited by the fans.
Made the nice play.
He did make the nice play at first, and Nimmo picked him up. That home run by Nimmo was fucking awesome. That was so clutch. It was like that was such a ridiculous moment. It was so good.
Gun to your head, Pete Alonso. Has he played his last game? Has he played his last regular season game as a New York Met in Citi Field?
No, but I'm not that confident in that.
I don't think he has either.
I don't know. We were arguing with our Yankee fan friend on Sunday before we went to the game about like the prospects of Soto still. Like I don't want to think about the offseason yet. We got a lot of work to do the rest of this year, but
sure.
If you sign Soto, you're not signing Pete.
Of course
not.
Yeah.
And then the Mets need so much pitching that so much money is going to have to go with that. But again, we're going to talk to you guys a lot about this.
Yeah,
in
we'll
November
get that later. Yeah. I just wanted to know about Pete. If you think he's going to be back or not.
Yep, I think that's also it for this series. I don't think there's anything we're forgetting. I just say Mark Vientos had one of the worst games I've ever seen a hitter have on Saturday against Ranger Suarez. The platinum sombrero was insane. I think either 3 or 4 of his strikeouts came exactly on 3 pitches too. It was nuts.
Suarez struck out Vientos 3 times for his 3 strikeouts. And then he walked Alonso 3 times for his 3 walks. Yeah. And Gary was like, I've never seen anything like this. Like, this has to be one of the more rare feats ever to strike out the same batter and walk the same batter. And those are the only strikeouts and walks you have. A little bit of housekeeping as well.
Oh, wait, one more housekeeping from the series.
Oh, go.
I want to shout out Garrett Stubbs because the Mets live rent-free in his head. He was chirping Pete like half the series and Vientos from the dugout because he's a bench player. He doesn't really get to play a lot
because he
stinks, objectively stinks at baseball. And even last year when the Phillies beat the Braves in the NLDS, he's talking about the Mets. So shout out Garrett Stubbs because he's literally obsessed with us. He cannot get us out of his head. He's a little loser.
He should have been thinking more about the Diamondbacks because the Diamondbacks handed them that fat L last year in the NLCS.
Snakes alive.
Yeah, Garrett Stubbs. It hurts too. He's a short king. I would hope that he would have been mentally tougher, James. It all comes full circle.
Right, it's a bad look for us. It's a bad look for the short guys out there because Garrett Stubbs is the absolute loser, and he has the Napoleon syndrome to the top.
Yes. Last little thing of housekeeping here. Kodai Senga news.
Yeah,
not great.
Sucks.
Kodai is not coming back for the regular season. He felt forearm or
tricep tightness.
Tricep tightness, which is a new thing. That's not what he had. That's not why he was out.
Yeah, not good.
Not good. Tricep tightness. I don't think we're going to see him in the postseason either if we make it.
It doesn't seem like it. Again, we kind of been telling you guys this to wait for. I think a lot of Mets fans were super jacked up to Kodai's back this weekend. I was like
they were when he came back the first time.
Yeah, exactly. I think we said on the show, any individual pitch you get from Kodai Senga is pure house money. You can't really expect it. And now, happy, shout out to us for not expecting it because now this news doesn't hurt as badly because I was like, I didn't think he was going to pitch anyway. And then last piece of information, the reason Kodai, I think, didn't really do that great is with that rehab start. He's supposed to pitch a few innings, but he only wound up throwing 1 because after he pitched his 1 inning, the Syracuse offense popped off for 8 runs, like a 40-minute inning. Big reason for that. Joe Williams got called up to Syracuse, played his final week there. Him, Jack Gilbert,
Gilbert,
Brett Beatty, Drew Gilbert. The boys are smacking the ball around down there. So shout out to Jet Williams getting to Syracuse. This whole year kind of felt like a lost year, but the fact that he's up and playing well at AAA doesn't make it feel like much of a lost year anymore. Really cool to see the Mets kind of officially have this new crop of young position players ready to make an impact. And now I'm a little bit more confident than the rest of them watching Luisangel Acuna hit the shit out of the ball.
He couldn't see. He's got the lights. The Mets got great lights.
And he's probably a little bored too. But all that together, I'm happy he's here, and I don't even have words to describe how important he has been to this team. Like the fact that he walked in for Francisco Lindor and is like, I'm not gonna miss a beat. So I don't know. Again, I said this last episode on the train. I don't know what's going to happen the rest of his career, but I'll never forget what Luisangel Acuna did for the Mets this week if we actually finish this off and get to the playoffs.
Yeah, no, he's been absolutely incredible. Shout out him. Shout out Jose Iglesias. Shout out the whole team getting the job done this weekend, taking care of business, beating the Phillies. Got a big series, though. Up against the Atlanta Braves. We play on Tuesday, so we have Monday off. Enjoy Monday off. Watch a little football.
Yeah, everyone take some time. Take some time to yourself. Hang out with your family. Hang out with your girlfriend. Hang out with your boyfriend. Hang out with anybody in your life. It's a mental reset day. It's recovery day on Monday. Don't push yourself too hard, anybody.
Because Tuesday, We go to war. We go to war on Tuesday. We head down to Atlanta, and I want nothing more than to see Braves blood spilt.
Yeah, true. I want to make people feel pain.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's Fried, if it's Schwellenbach, it's fucking Sale, ruin the Cy Young hopes in the last start of the year. I want to make children from Atlanta cry.
I want to see that stadium empty on Thursday. Empty, because that means the season's over. That means we're in. That means they don't care anymore. We know that they're a lame fan base anyway, and they're
Some of the worst fans in sports.
Yeah, I mean, Tomahawk Chop, come on, please.
Ugh.
We don't even have to start there. But
Unbelievable.
this is a huge series, and
This is it.
they are giving us their best. The pitching matchups are tough, but they've been tough all year, and you know what? The Mets have 88 fucking wins, whatever we have, 87 wins. Like, keep going, keep doing it. So, James, let the people at home know, who are we going to see this series?
Yep. Both teams reshuffled their rotations to give what they believe are the three best pitchers for the series. So Tuesday, also 7:20 starts here. 7:20 down in Atlanta. Keep in mind, you got 10 extra minutes to get ready for these games. Tuesday, 7:20, Luis Severino versus Spencer Schwellenbach. Wednesday, 7:20, David Peterson versus Chris Sale. And Thursday at 7:20, Sean Manaea versus Max Fried. Mark said it when he said I got a little chill down my spine. This is war.
This is war.
This is business trip. There's not going to be pleasure in this series. It's a battle. Every single out, every base runner, every ball, every strike, every single nanosecond in this series is going to hang in the balance. Like from the first pitch of the first game, we are in the playoffs. This is it.
Yes.
Like pressure is a privilege, and the fact that this Mets team has gotten to this spot to rectify this season and end this, not only get us to where we want to be to start our journey in the postseason, but to kill this team in Atlanta, to finally step on their throats, to get rid of them, end their season mercilessly. I want to do it so badly. I can't even. Oh God, I'm gritting my teeth. I'm clenching my jaw. I want this so bad.
We were saying on Thursday that we were feeling feral. Tuesday is going to be feral hours.
I don't even know what I'm going to be doing. I can't even.
I do know one thing we're going to be doing. We are going to be joining the Hammer. What is
Hammer
it?
Territory.
Hammer Territory, the Braves podcast, part of the Foul Territory Network. We're going to be doing a post-game live stream with them on Tuesday. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the YouTube channel to see that. You'll see it on the podcast feed too in the morning, but we will be doing a live post-game show with them. So that should be hopefully should be a lot of fun as long as we take care of business. Because I'll tell you this. If we win on Tuesday, it will be fun to just poke the bear a little bit and definitely try to stir some things up.
I mean, because I think there's a lot of fair questions if we win Tuesday about what's going on with the season. Like, I think there's probably an outside chance that I'm assuming Ronald Acuna might be rooting for his brother.
Yeah, because
nightmare scenario for Ronald Acuna Jr. Imagine if Braves win a second World Series without him.
At some point,
gone, right? Gotta get rid of him at that point.
Is he even that good of a player? Like, if
that
they can win it without him.
Subtraction by addition right there if he ever came back to that team. But some things to watch for this Braves team. Stats report, Ozzie Albies is back healthy. He hit a home run on Sunday. I think he had another one a few days before. Michael Harris, finally. It took 4 months. It always does, but he's blazing hot again. 4 hard hit balls, a triple, 2-run scored on Sunday.
Marcell Ozuna busted out of his slump that was happening.
Yep, same with Matt Olson. Jorge Soler's hitting the ball really well. 850 OPS since the beginning of June because he's just a really good baseball player. And also, it's so annoying, but fucking Ramon Laureano has been awesome. He's been so good. He's better than he's been the last 5 years for this Braves team, just for some reason. Totally usurped Jared Kelenic and is now like the everyday left fielder for the Braves and playing tremendously good baseball all the time.
No, they're a good baseball team. We know this. They have their holes right now with Giovanni Urshela and Whit Merrifield's getting playing time. And
Urshela hit a home run on Sunday.
I know, but I'm saying like those are not the guys that you're necessarily accustomed to, but their pitching's really good. Their bullpen's really good. Take care of business. The Phillies are the best team in baseball, arguably, and we just took 3 or 4 from them. Had an ability to sweep them last weekend, and we just blew a couple games. So Mets team is very, very good. Tuesday is war. Everybody get your war paint ready, whatever it is. Get excited. Get pumped. Need to kill this Braves team. Destroy them. I want their season over. I want to see them on the couch on Thursday. I want them to do the opposite of the hangover game on Thursday. I want us to have the hangover game. I can't wait to see Eddie Alvarez start second base on Thursday.
Yeah, that's the goal. I want this weekend to be. I just want to kill them. I want to kill them.
This weekend. I want this week. I want this weekend. I want Milwaukee to just be like, all right, I'll be there for the wild card series.
That's where I was going with that. I don't want that Milwaukee series to matter, be stressed at all, because there's also really. I'm not getting ahead of ourselves. Not getting ahead of ourselves.
We're not going to talk about it.
Doesn't even make sense. Doesn't even exist yet. But
Braves.
We I'll tell you guys this right now. I want you to take what I'm saying seriously. We're fucking better than this team. We're better than the Braves. This has nothing to do with 2022. I think a lot of people are trying to compare to 2022. There's no comparison. There's nothing that's the same right now. We're different. They're different. Half of our roster is different. Half of their roster is not here. Nothing that happened then is any bearing on what's going to happen now.
No.
And right now, I can tell you honestly, I can look you guys in the eyes on YouTube. We're better than them. We have to take care of business. We have to go there, and we want to draw blood.
I have a feeling Pete Alonso is going to have a huge series. I think this is going to be the series.
This is the one.
I think this is the one for Pete.
He never had the real moment I said he could have had on during this one. He had that at bat against Christopher Sanchez when the Mets were down 8-2, but those bases loaded, 2 outs. He struck out, started like 3 pitches.
Yeah.
It's just the moment was a little too big for him. But so again, someone has to step up. It seems like Lindor, like knock on wood, tracking towards possibly playing Tuesday. They're being non-committal about it. We don't really know what's going to happen. He says he's going to play through the pain. But Pete, Nimmo, Marte, Iglesias, Alvarez, Vientos. This is a deep fucking team. This Mets team is not to be messed with, and I'm ready to go into Atlanta for war.
Yeah, no, I'm ready for a war, and I'm also ready for a word from our last sponsor of today's episode.
We're busy. You're busy. And figuring out food all the time is a hassle, especially when you're trying to eat right. Fuel up with Factor's no prep, no mess meals.
Meet your wellness goals thanks to the menu of chef-created meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor features fresh, never frozen meals, dietitian approved, and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great-tasting meals.
Treat yourself to restaurant-quality meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, and salmon. With 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, you'll always have new flavors to explore.
Head to factormeals.com/FOUL50 and use code FOUL50 to get 50% off your first box, plus 20% off your next month. That's code FOUL50 at factormeals.com/FOUL50 to get 50% off your first box, plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active.
A little bit of a late one for you guys, but I mean, our brains are mush. It's 1:25 in the morning when we're recording this. Of course, I mentioned meeting Frankie Peppers, the legend. Shout out to him. He's a little shy, so you're not going to get a face reveal from Frankie Peppers. He was going to drive us home, possibly. He's a real mensch. Absolutely love to see that from him. But he left us a voicemail, and
I'll say before we talk about Frankie's voicemail, I just want to shout out another Instagram account that gave us a shout. It's
oh yes,
Sam and Kelly's van, 130,000 followers, and they put Mark and I's voices in one of their reels because Sam of Sam and Kelly's van loves the Mets'd podcast. Shout out Sam for that one. It was amazing to be featured in a reel like that.
Shout out Willie Deutsch.
Shout out Willie Deutsch. Man, met the game. Hell of a guy.
Yeah, met him and his wife and their child. And the wife said, listening to your guys' podcast has been the highlight of our summer. She goes, I don't know if that's sad or not, but we really love the podcast. And they were like, they said, we can't wait for merch. So we're going to get that in the works.
Definitely. We've met so many people at the ballpark this weekend who just love listening to the show. And it's so cool to meet you guys. Because we were trying to cultivate this real Mets fan community. Because Mark and I are rabid. We're psychos for the Mets.
As
so
you
I
can
want to talk about the Mets all day long. We're happy that you guys want to listen to the Mets all day long. But again, without further ado, we have tonight's update from the one and only Frankie Peppers.
Francis Peppers.
Yeah, Francis Peppers. Go by his formal name. Hold on. Here it comes. I pumped his volume.
Gentlemen, how you doing? Frankie Peppers here. As you can hear, it's been quite an evening here at Citi Field. Another win, 2-1 against the Phillies. Take the series. The vibes, as the kids say, are immaculate. So, just standing here outside the Piazza Club, which I snuck into. And, actually, is that... Wait a minute, hold up. All right. James, I'm leaving the voicemail. How you doing?
How you doing? James Shiano, Mets'd podcast.
Mark?
Oh,
How you doing?
how we doing? Frankie.
Doing, yeah. How you
Oh my
doing?
God, this is very meta.
Oh, you're gonna listen to this one on the show and react to it live.
Look, I gotta leave you alone. I gotta let you work.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to cook, boys. Anyway, beautiful series. I just saw you now, so let's go Mets.
It's wild.
Frankie's a legend. Love Frankie. I'm
Frankie's
so
the
happy I
best.
got to meet him. He's also just a very nice dude in general. And the sauce fucking slaps.
The sauce was so good. The sauce saved my life. So happy we ate that. And again, Frankie, when the 7 train was down after the game, Frankie was willing to drive us home.
Yeah.
That's the man right there. And we ran into him randomly. We were like, we thought we were going to get stranded there. We're like, oh my God, we're going to do this
We were
podcast 2 in the
panicking.
morning. And we just bumped into Frankie Peppers out by the Tom Seaver statue. We were like, oh my God. It was like a guardian angel just to come back into our lives. But shout out Frankie. The Mets are hot. The boys are eating bolognese.
Shout out the meme. I want to pull it up that someone made,
Yeah,
which
Ben
is so funny.
Steinberg.
I love that this is what's really cool, like about what's gone on with Mets'd Up and like just how awesome you guys are as viewers and listeners. One, that Frankie Peppers existed and is getting hundreds of followers on Twitter for Frankie Peppers, I think is super, super funny. But then 2, someone legitimately made a meme about the Frankie Peppers universe. And it's the one where like, there's a couple guys like flirting with girls at a party, and one of them is Grimace, one of them's OMG, and then it's the guy in the corner all by himself. He's like, they don't know Frankie Peppers saved the Mets season with his cooking. I was like, I love this. This is so cool.
We're like creating this little universe here. We got this little community, and that's like definitely the best thing that's happened from this show is like community with you guys we've developed here.
Definitely. And hopefully we continue it. If the Mets have a chance to clinch on Thursday, I may fly to Atlanta. So if anyone's in Atlanta, come say what's up. Definitely going to be looking for blood then. We're going to be hungry. And I think that's it. We got nothing else to talk about here. James, it's time to let you edit and go to sleep.
Yeah, please. I got a doctor's appointment 10 o'clock in the morning on Monday. I'm going to bring myself there.
Appointment.
I got it's a year. Get the yearly physical. I'm going to bring myself there in a body bag.
Listen, man, you got to do what you got to do. No days off, even for the podcasters. Guys, thank you so much for listening and watching this episode of the Mets'd Up podcast. Make sure you follow us on all our social media at Mets'd Up on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Subscribe to the Mets'd Up podcast YouTube channel if you want to see the video version of this. And if you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, whatever it is, drop us a rating, drop us a review, and most importantly, download and subscribe. Download and subscribe, please. Follow James on Twitter at
James_Schiano.
I'm Giraffe Nick Mark with a C. Thank you guys for listening and watching. We'll catch you after we kill the Braves. Let's fucking go Mets.
Let's fucking go Mets. Big week, guys. See you next time.